we're getting into draft for game 1 of this 3-game finals on Volskaya Foundry. And on the, I didn't see which side the teams
I believe it's
on.
DPS, Deadly Penguin Squad on the right. So
okay,
they are getting first ban, first pick. And loading into our draft, but they are going to start their bans out. And I'm curious if we're going to see what we mostly see in draft on live right now. In the sense that, okay, no, we're not going to see exactly what we usually see.
Yeah, because all we see, okay, because let's be honest, this is really interesting.
See, these are very specific bands.
Specific bands, and yeah, not what we see at all. Because because all you see on live right now is Mal'Ganis Orphea, right? And this is something we didn't even touch on. Orphea is playable right here, right now. So no Mal'Ganis. Orphea will be up for first pick, but I mean, those were so rapid fire. These teams have played one another.
Yeah, they know what's up, and I don't blame them for the Mal'Ganis. Oh, we had a player drop, so we'll be getting that set up for you in a minute, just again. But
yeah, they'll repick there, but
yeah,
those were so fast. Okay, so Maiev makes sense. Maiev, I still
Maiev
feel
totally
like
makes sense. Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. But Tracers feels so targeted, and so does Cho'Gall. I mean, Cho'Gall is pretty strong on Volskaya Foundry, but
I mean, they have the Cho'Gall portrait, so you never know.
Yeah, and these teams must have played one another at least once or twice, so they definitely have to know it. And or it's just like, how about we just don't play against it? They have the 1-2. Picking a Cho'Gall in the 1-2 is incredibly risky, if you ask me. You know.
Oh yeah.
But still, they're just like, we'd rather not deal with it. We'd rather not have you pick it early and have to deal with it. We'd rather just no. Not at all. And it's funny because earlier in the week, my friends, the enemy teams were banning Orphea and Mal'Ganis, and we were like, oh, these people are the no fun banners. And then by the end of the week, we were banning Mal'Ganis Orphea, going, oh, we're the no fun people anymore. Because you just get frustrated. It can be really frustrating getting slept over and over.
Oh yeah, that is really frustrating, and I really like Orphea. She's probably the most recent hero that I've just played like a ton of, as far as like the new release heroes. Like yeah, I've played some of the other ones. Like I'll play them to 5 or whatever, but like Orphea, I've played to 12 so far. I just love her kit. And
yeah, my friend the other day, I said, oh, are you liking Orphea? He said, yeah, I just got to level 20. I was like, oh
wow, okay, I guess you really do love
her. So I guess you like Orphea. And I was just watching some of I don't know if you've ever seen those like WTF moment videos and stuff. I was watching one of a team, just 3 people. I mean, they're making a mistake. They're just chasing Orphea the whole time, and she just slowly picks them apart, you know? Q, dash, Q, dash, Q, dash. It's like hard to watch.
Yeah, there's just something super satisfying about her ult that brings everyone into the middle there and then just blowing everyone up.
Yes, like, there was one wombo in there, satisfying. And they even show, like, after she does it, they show the spawn timers because they were so, like, she nailed it so perfectly. The wombo just got all 5 members, like,
oh my gosh,
exact same time, and they were like lined up completely perfect.
Oh my gosh, okay, this makes me really happy because we've been talking about Orphea, and of course she gets first picked up by DPS here.
Yeah, she gets first picked up, and it's not surprising. I think we've had enough time to practice with her, but so the way I generally view new heroes coming out is like no one knows how to play them, but maybe they're overpowered. Then slowly, if they get tuned a little bit, people start to figure out how to really properly play them, and then people learning how to counteract the hero comes later. So I think we're probably at a point in competitive where people are getting used to her, they're getting strong with her, but not everyone is going like, I can just shut down that Orphea.
Yeah, and we have to keep in mind Orphea did just receive those buffs last week, so her Q's is a little bit more damage, I believe, and some other just general buffs. The Alrek is an interesting choice, I feel like, to counter Orphea because her mobility with her skill shots is really her only escape, and if you can catch her outside of that 5-second window, and just reposition her. Could probably blow her up pretty easily.
I've noticed this trend with sort of how a lot of DPS choices have been going competitive lately, which is like your Orphea is a very all-in hero. So to counter that, you just pick a more all-in hero. You're like, all right, well, one of us is gonna win this one-on-one within the first couple seconds. Like, let's just find out who it is. Let's just throw our skill shots out, find out who it is. Because if Alarak hits the silence, Orphea is in like Doom Town, right? But if he misses the telekinesis, or she hits the Shadow Waltz and then dodges his Discord strike, like the tip of it or something, then Orphea is totally in control.
Yeah, it kind of becomes this who's the better player at that point.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a really interesting matchup in that sense. And Tyrant does get picked up on the side of a Deadly Penguin squad. They get that support locked in along with Raynor. And this side on Inaequalis, they have a really solid draft so far. And that Varian, I'm pretty sure it's going to be
I think it's Twin Blade?
DPS Varian, Twin Blade Varian, possibly. I don't know. I could go either way on Colossus or Twin Blades, I feel.
Against their current comp, I feel like either one is pretty good. But Arthas and Nubarak, so like we were talking about, Arthas, kind of a hard shutdown on Twin Blades. So I would think that would have to be a pivot to possibly Colossus Smash. We'll see. But also Colossus Smash Alarak, it's kind of disgusting. He can get blown up in a matter of fractions of a second. But I also like the draft we have coming out of Deadly Penguin Squad. Really, really solid frontline. Tyrande, arguably the best healer in the game right now. A lot of lockdown to accompany the Orphea. And now a Lunara coming in as last pick for Inaequalis. So these are some interesting drafts for game one. They both have a bit of a mix of dive and sustain. So they're neither of them. They both have a little flavor of dive in the Anub Orphea and in your Varian Alarak, but they're both really well-rounded teams. I'm not honestly sure who I'd give it to here.
I want to give it to DPS a little bit, just because of the Orphea pick. But I mean, that was the thing when Orphea first came out. I felt like she does a lot better in coordinated groups versus like being in quick match, and because I feel like you have to build her a little bit different if you're kind of solo queuing versus playing with people and she's definitely one of those heroes that feels stronger in a coordinated group, because then you can really coordinate that ult, and you can also go for the DPS ult if you have someone who has a ult that holds the team in place, or has a big slow or CC or whatever.
Yeah, I played some Orphea with Maiev, and it's really good if you can get off that Warden's Cage. And Eternal Feast, it's actually kind of disgusting. All right, so let's get right into the introductions. On the left side, we have Inaequalis playing Lunara. We have Jillian on Alarak. We have Dead Dam, Lily played by Kenny, Diablo going to be played by Elia, and Varian played by Sajira.
And Deadly Penguin Squad is going to be on our right side in red. Darth Tyrael playing Arthas, Sir Kreider playing Orpheus, Samwise on the Tyrande, Wek is CZ on Nubarak, and Gargadon on Raynor.
That is not an easy name to pronounce right there. Looking like Darth Tyrael just having a little bit of lag. They're going to get reconnected. They're going to avoid that early initial fight because, when you're lagging a little bit, you don't want to get locked into
we are going to get a quick pause here. So we do see the overpower taken by the Varian to start things off.
Overpower. Generally indicates Colossus, I believe. Could be a taunt.
Could be, but I would lean more towards Colossus in this position. But
I think it's Colossus.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, because even though it's a parry talent, I think people look at that talent and they go like parry talent for prot, but it's when you parry something, it refreshes your Heroic Strike, and your next Heroic Strike does 30% increased damage. Heroic Strike modifies your auto attack, makes it a crit, and when you pick Colossus Smash, it increases your auto attack damage by like 250 damage. So you're talking about you use your Colossus Smash, you jump in, you Heroic Strike crit them, and then you parry, and then when you parry that first move, then you Heroic Strike crit them again. You can just absolutely blow somebody up. It is so good. And if you think about that in combination with, you know, just anything else, Alarak, Diablo, all that they have there is going to work really well.
Yeah, most definitely. And yeah, hopefully we get our players back in here to get this match back underway. Looks like they're talking about unpausing in just a moment. Orphea's build, taking the Ancestral Strength at 1.
So what have you been messing around with builds? Are you doing Q build or?
I've been doing Q build mostly. It works out pretty well.
I really prefer the E build with Ancestral Strength. That's what's been working for me. And I just try Q build, and it's possible that when she first, I just wasn't good enough. I was trying Q build when she first came out, but I couldn't hit my Qs for the life of me. So maybe I'll come back around to trying the Q build. A lot of people swear by it.
Yeah, it's definitely oh, that was a huge silence there on the Anubarak, almost getting the kill potentially there on the turnaround.
Yeah, Dead Dam just waiting in the bush. Big Shadow Charge coming out from Diablo as well, putting Orphea kind of low. So Inaequalis being really aggressive early on, and they have the ability to. Diablo just sort of, that's what Diablo allows your team to do, just be aggressive early on. I don't think we're going to see much of anything happening in this bottom lane. Initially, Arthas first variant is going to be a little boring for a little while.
Yeah, as soon as 4 hits, it's going to really, I think, tip a bit into the variant's favor. The rotation does come up by Arthas to this mid lane to help contest it, but it's going to rotate back down. Orphea trying to flank around, but Lunara going to chase her off.
I feel like Lunara probably frustrating to play into as Orphea, because as soon as you have to get in your range, see, she misses the Q there, and then Lunara just starts poking away at you. See, that's the most difficult thing. Take about 10, 15, 20% of your HP every time. Darth Tyrael with a sick telekinesis dodge, avoiding the gank down on the bottom. Other than that, teams are just going to hold the lane. DPS has rotated to their turret early on, which is usually the move. About this time, teams usually start to gear up for their turrets. Look at the support camp. But actually, Anoob's in trouble up here.
And he is going to be able to walk away, so going to Hearth back to get that health and mana back up to full and try to rejoin this engagement as we do get our first Protector phase about to start. And yeah, this bottom lane still just kind of back and forth, and Arthas is a little low in health, but he is continuing to be aggressive.
Yeah, he's way out there. He's playing an Alex Did style Arthas, just totally in your face right now. Inaequalis rotating a bit late to their turret, and Lunara's going to take like most of her HP in damage. She's probably going to have to rotate all the way back. Maybe, actually, she just has so little HP. Lily will be able to heal her up. Now Deadly Penguin Squad looking for their own siege camp to set up the top lane. Anub getting Shadow Charge and flipped over, but the Burrow Charge is going to be enough for him to escape. So now Siege pushing down the top for DPS. DPS has a slight experience advantage. Neither team has the support camp, so this should be fairly even going into this objective. I gotta say though, the advantage goes to DPS, as eventually Inaequalis will have to clear that camp or give up the point.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, we do see the Varian go taunt. So going with a really beefy frontline with the Diablo taunt Varian. They do engage onto the Lunara. The stun comes in. There's a ton of damage coming, but not going to be enough. We did have a disconnect, so we'll probably see a pause here shortly, but they are continuing to fight this, and they are going to be able to sit on the point, capture it, and start getting some percentage in their favor.
Yeah, that was odd because the stun came through, the follow-up wasn't there, and Raynor kind of came in on a flank, but then the punish was not available by Inaequalis. They were more concerned with getting Lunara out of there. So ultimately, sort of nothing happens in that fight, and sevens are going to be rounded for both teams. So we've got all the talents coming in. I don't think any talents in particular are going to favor one team over the other at 7, but now we have percentage ticking up for DPS. I imagine what we're going to see here, yeah, siege camp taken, and now Inaequalis going to rotate back onto the point, force a fight. This should be good right here.
Inaequalis is backing up, kind of giving up this point for now, getting their health and mana back up. They are starting to re-engage. There are ways for Alarak to come back in. They can start contesting this now, and that's what they do. They go in, get the focus onto the Anubrak, taunted as well. So much damage going in just to this front line, but they do not get any kills quite yet. But the Orphea and the Tyrant are very, very low. This poison damage from Lunara is just wrecking them.
Wow, what a slow, sustained fight. Arthas in the back line, also just trying to do as much damage as he can, gets picked up. But you're right, Lunara sort of wins the day there. Not a burst-style fight like you'd expect, and Raynor just not able to match the overall spread damage of Lunara. Jillian just doing an absolute work, putting all the members of Deadly Penguin Squad low, and they're forced to back up after losing 2 members. That's going to be first Protector over to Inaequalis.
Yeah, and they did get their siege camp in the midst of all that, and it's pushing this top lane, so they could start winning this top lane as they use the Protector in the middle lane to pressure. Orphea is going to go respond up to top for that, but this means that this middle lane is going to take quite a bit of damage. But they also are rotating up to protect this this camp just a little bit, and now they have a ton of pushing potential in this top lane, and look for them to potentially go for the fort.
Yeah, usually the idea here is most likely they're going to jump. Well, I don't even think they're going to get it. Usually this idea here is you go for, oh, they are going to get it in a pog move there. Alarak shoots the hand onto the well. So basically the idea here is you get the wall in the middle lane to get a little bit of experience lead. Then you get the wall and well in top lane, because point B on Volskaya is always, wow, just this extra value they're stealing out of the Protector is phenomenal. The second Protector is always, point B is always on top lane in Volskaya. So if you take out the enemy's well, then they don't have the ability to tap while you're fighting over that second point. And they also push 10 advantage for themselves. So Inaequalis looking very good, taking the support camp for themselves, looking strong right now.
And we are seeing APOC come in from our Diablo along with Jugs, Counter-Strike, and Thornwood Vine. Pretty standard picks, I think, outside of the APOC. I feel like we generally see Lightning from Diablo.
Fine. Yeah, Lightning Breath, you're right. I mean, APOC, to me, APOC, I'm like, yeah, APOC's meta, because was meta for so long and is sort of old.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason Apocalypse is bad. Lightning Breath is just particularly good right now, is what I'd say. And wow, they managed to force on top for it. DPS just going to opt to soak instead, and now they're going to force onto the siege camp. But if DPS rotates in quickly enough, this could actually be a huge mistake. There's lots at risk here. 10s are available, and Orphea is on the team of DPS.
Orphea,
they're getting collapsed on this.
Here we go.
Ooh, wow, and the Apocalypse comes out. Lily's in the cocoon. Wow, Sir Kaiser's taking a lot of damage, but he manages to dodge out with the Shadow Waltz. He's looking for Lunar, but he misses the subsequent Shadow Waltz, so he's not going to have anything available. But Arthas cutting onto the back line. They are going to try to punish Lily, barely escaping as well. Lily falls. Diablo is taking a lot of damage. Raynor needs to just... Wow, Raynor with the body blocks. Not something you often see, a Raynor body blocking a Diablo, but just like that, just like we said, that was high risk, and they were punished for it.
Yeah, and that's just the power that Crushing Jaws is. You funnel into this small area of the siege camp, and you put yourself at huge risk of getting caught out there, and that's precisely what happened. They were able to turn on that and get themselves a couple kills, and if they're careful though, they're going to lose a couple kills onto the side of Inaequalis, and they're going to continue pursuing here. Anubrak has already burned his burrow, but they are going to... Oh, they're going to focus on the Tehran now. Can they get that kill and secure it? Here comes in the taunt to keep her in place, but just not enough damage. And here comes the Crushing Jaws again. The combo is there, but just not enough damage.
Yeah, this is a really weird fight. I love how in the other fight when they were running away, at the second you realize, you're like, wait, they have Crushing Jaws, and then it came down immediately. Just did so much damage onto the enemy team. That's kind of an odd little skirmish there. No one coming out on top. We are going to see a Starfall, Banshee. Let's see, what else do we have coming out for Ultimate?
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
Crushing Jaws, we mentioned Starfall, you mentioned Cocoon. Which we did see, I believe, during that engagement up here with the siege camp. There was a lot going on there, which is pretty fun because both teams hit that 10 mark pretty close to each other.
Yeah, these fights are going to be intense. There's going to be a lot going on with the APOC, the Alarak silences, everyone's positioning. I would probably imagine the Cocoon will most frequently go out onto Lily when she pops her Jug of 1,000 Cups. Yeah, it's a really good way to mitigate that. But we do have a Burrow Charge coming in onto Diablo. Lunar Flare does not connect. Apocalypse coming out. Now, Arthas has been taunted, but he's not taking a lot of damage. He has Ice Form, Fortitude available. Lily's in the Cocoon, but they're going to manage to break it out. Protected, by the way. Sajira pushes out, trying to survive, but that Lunar Flare does not miss. Punish as Alarak winds up the Discord Strike. He is also killed. The Jugs is going to be enough to save Diablo, but wow, that was a really clean execution right there by DPS.
Yeah, DPS with a clean couple kills there to dominate this lane and dominate the objective to start things off. And now we're going to fight over this support camp, and it looks like both teams kind of back off a little bit, but DPS easily able to take that as the 2 kills that they got are just coming back online. They're going to be a little late rotating here.
Yeah, maybe if Inaequalis had not used their heroic abilities in the previous engagement, they might have risked going in undermanned, you know, on that work camp. But I think they're just going to wait. They have plenty of time. Darth Tyriel, got out of position. And here comes the Crushing Jaws, going to hit 2 members. Lily is in that Cocoon, so there's going to be no heals. And once again, Alarak is the target. The body blocks coming out from DPS are actual and real. The cups trying to save Varian, but it's not enough as well. And Orphea on the chase, getting Lunara another 3-for-0 catch. So really just the strategy of Cocoon the Lily, focus the Alarak is prevailing for DPS right now.
It's looking really good right now, and they're able to really close the gap easily with the Orphea. Just able to rotate in and get on that back line and get those targets, like you were saying, like the Alarak. They're focusing that first. They have a game plan and they're executing it, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and they're doing it over and over again. But when it is something so obvious, you know, it's been pretty obvious that Lily's going to be that Cocoon target every time. Are we going to see Inaequalis able to react to it? Can they get a focus down onto Anubarak? Because I've seen the taunts coming out a lot onto Arthas. I think they need to lean away from Arthas, just kind of ignore him, see if they can burst down the Anubarak. Should be a viable strategy. Of course, if you can catch the Orphea or the Rainer out, really, that's what you're looking for. Diablo's souls are going to be completed, so he will be extra tough, but also if he dies, he's going to lose all that HP, all that ability to protect himself.
Yeah, and we do see them now working on this bottom lane. They're going to be able to get some good XP in their favor, and that puts them up 16-15 currently. Gives them that power spike, and this is a dangerous position to be in as Inaequalis. As Lunara gets cocooned in the back line here, they're going to focus her down as soon as she pops out. Here comes the APOC, though, to protect her. Does stun the Anubarak, but they are going to still focus this Rainer and Anubarak chasing Lunar. Can they secure this kill? It looks like it should be enough. No. Okay.
Not enough, and Rainer possibly going to be punished. There's a split going on here. Crushing Jaws. Did Orphea jump out to hit her Crushing Jaws before? That's odd, because I definitely saw it go off in that last fight. This Protector is just going to run out based solely on time, and the 16 talent here has still not been achieved for Inaequalis, so DPS is going to try to force on this turret camp. Whether or not that's a good idea, all 5 members are going to be up. And here comes Anubarak moving in with the
they're going to counter here. Double.
Wow.
Yeah, double stun onto the tanks there, and they are going to put the damage in. Varian is being kept alive by the Jugs, and Darth Tyrael does get tossed in. They are going to be able to secure that kill. They do get the cocoon onto Lunara, but 2 kills in return. Getting the souls on Diablo is so key.
What a wild fight! What is actually happening? We have 2 for 2 right now. Anubarak now taking lots of damage, taking tower shots. Anubarak, Alarak caught. A clean and crushing jaw, and Orphea just puts an end to the waffling in that team fight. I mean, a lot of these team fights are dragging on. Really, you get the impression these teams know one another. I was worried about one thing today. It was like a straight stomp when there's only 2 teams involved. These teams seem like insanely well matched and like they know how the other plays.
Yeah, definitely. And this is another one of the changes that did happen in the most recent patch was that Orphea's crushing jaws, the cooldown got increased. That doesn't seem to be affecting how this Orphea is playing. It used to be 40 seconds, but now it's 70 seconds, and still it's controlling all these team fights and really turning the tide on these team fights.
That's a large increase, and she's just using it as often as she can. And just even getting 2-3 members, it's not like a mosh where you're really looking to hit every single member. If you can only hit a couple members and just force a reaction, force cooldowns to be used, basically it's forcing the Jugs if 2 or more members are being hit every time, then the cocoon to follow up and trying to get some finish off. So really, I mean, like you said before, they're executing their game plan time and time again. The last fight, watching it start with the 2-man Howling Blast into the 2-man Lunar Feather was beautiful, but they're going to look for a catch onto Arthas. Icebound Fortitude is popped, so the duration of those CCs will be reduced, and a Crushing Jaws just to cover Orphea's escape. Smart play right there, you know. Didn't hit anything, but definitely caused the enemy team to waver a bit, and I think you'll be able to buy, you know, the 70 seconds is actually not as long as you think. A big Howling Blast actually coming out on a Alarak. He hits the Counter-Strike in time, but it's not enough. There's too much overall CC. The Lunar Flare connects, and he falls 20 seconds before the 3rd objective, and he's 46 seconds left on his timer. All items in favor of DPS. This is brutal right now, and 20 around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, this is the point of the game where those isolated kills like that really hurt your team because of these increased cooldown on the death timer, and they're not even going to contest this objective at all. They're just going to try to push out lane and get something going. They should be able to get this fort uncontested in mid. Arthas is going to come here and try to scare him off, but we do see the big rotation coming though, so maybe this could turn in favor of DPS. They completely go after the fight here. The Claws picks 2. They're going to get 2 off of this. What a huge ult by the Orphea. Oh, Lily is counting down her life expectancy here.
Goodbye, sweet prince. Oh, another one. She got the 20 upgrade, so it resets on takedowns. I was like, that has not been 70 seconds since the last opponent died. She took the 20 upgrade there, and you know what I noticed in that last fight? Like, just perfectly these little small, basically every opening on this map, all these little square openings, any opening you walk through is about the size of a Crushing Jaw. I mean, draw a rectangle opening on this map, and it's exactly the size of the Crushing Jaw. When they tried to walk through that opening there, just the 2-man Crushing Jaw came through, and it absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah, and they're going to just get this front wall and a couple of these towers in bottom lane to open up this bottom lane for the Protector. Lunara on the top lane, though, is going to potentially get this keep, so Inaequalis isn't completely out of this. And they're not responding to this at all.
No response. Yeah, no hurt at all. It's going to be a straight 1-for-1 trade. Considering you're up 20, you have every map advantage you could. I don't know about this decision. I think they're just saying we're ending right now with this Protector. Your keep is dead. There's no way you defend us here. But 20 is about to tick through, so Lunara's back as long as they can get onto the back line, possibly get a kill onto Raynor specifically very early to mitigate the damage. It could be a possibility, but onto a naked court, not sure if they're going to be able to defend here.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough defense as we do get a pause because Arthas did disconnect a little bit there. So, boy, what a place to pause and kind of reflect on this game.
There, so keep taking. Look at the map. It's actually completely symmetrical.
It is. It's crazy.
It's totally symmetrical. It's beautiful. I keep taking for each team, but I really feel like just the execution by DPS is the name of the game in this first match here, because early on we saw Lunar getting insane amounts of value, and the fights were going on for a very long time. And when that was the case, Lunar was really prevailing, really coming out on top. And once the cocoons, I mean, basically once 10 hit, DPS really hit their stride and coordinated their abilities. Between Crushing Jaws and Cocoon, they've gotten so much work done this game.
Yeah, and they just have so much CC between Arthas and the Lunar Flare from Tyrant. I mean, it's just, you're gonna get locked down for quite a while, and it without a cleanse on the side of Inaequalis, it makes it really hard to get those members that do get locked down out.
Does Lily not have the cleanse? Let's see. Yeah, she doesn't. She went for the good stuff. That is interesting. And okay, so we have unpaused, so the Protector is going to be marching down right on the score. Basically, how much this hits the core for is going to determine to me whether or not they're going to just absolutely roll through. Doesn't seem to be hitting too hard, even with the Gunner. They are going to opt for the team fight. The Jug of 1,000 Cups has already gone out, but Nubarak's taking a lot of damage. Crushing Jaws coming through, not doing as much. The Pulse is going to be dropped there and topping off a lot of members. Yeah, that's just too much. With the Healing Pulse, with all the members just standing in it, it's going to be way too much damage and health to burn through in order to defend. So, absolutely amazing game one, going over to Deadly Penguin Squad in this best-of-3 final. I mean, fantastic game, really evenly matched. Got the impression that these two teams know one another fairly intimately, and really looking forward to game two.